Welcome to Vaj Academy, where we bridge the gap between cutting-edge academic research and real-world business practice. Whether you're a business leader, entrepreneur, consultant, or just someone passionate about staying ahead of the curve, Vaj Academy transforms complex theories into practical strategies you can implement today. Imagine you're the captain of a ship setting sail into uncharted waters. Your goal is to discover new trade routes and establish a profitable business. But the ocean is vast and unpredictable. You have a map, but it's incomplete and may even be inaccurate. The weather is constantly changing, new islands emerge, and old ones disappear. How do you navigate this treacherous environment and reach your destination? In their seminal 2000 paper, Looking Forward and Looking Backward, Cognitive and Experiential Search, Giovanni Gavetti and Daniel Levinthal offer a compelling framework for understanding how organizations navigate the complex and ever-changing world of business. Gavetti and Levinthal argue that successful organizations blend two fundamental approaches: cognitive search, forward-looking based on mental models, and experiential search, backward-looking, learning from experience. It's a strategic odyssey where mental maps guide the way and experience refines the course. Let's examine these two essential approaches in more detail. Think of cognitive search as using a detailed but potentially flawed map to chart your course. Managers develop simplified mental models of the business landscape, beliefs about how different actions, investments, marketing campaigns, product development will lead to specific outcomes: profits, market share, customer loyalty. These models are the compass guiding the ship. A mental model is a simplified representation of a complex system. It's a way of making sense of the world, anticipating the consequences of actions, and making informed decisions. Tesla, for example, operates under the mental model that electric vehicles are the future of transportation. This model has guided their product development, manufacturing, and marketing decisions, leading to the creation of a highly successful brand. The problem is that mental models are inherently simplifications. They can be incomplete, biased, or outdated. A traditional retailer might believe that physical stores are essential for success, but this model might ignore the growing importance of online commerce. Experiential search, on the other hand, is like learning from the sea itself. Organizations experiment with different strategies, observe the results, and then reinforce what works and discard what doesn't. It's the learning by doing approach where hands-on experience shapes the course. Over time, successful actions become ingrained in the organization's routines, the established patterns of behavior that define how things are done. These routines represent a company's tacit knowledge, the know-how that's hard to articulate but crucial for success. Google's continuous A/B testing of its search algorithms is a prime example of experiential learning. They constantly experiment with different algorithms, measure their impact on user engagement, and then implement the changes that lead to the best results. Experiential search is a trial and error process which can be slow, costly, and potentially risky. A company might launch a new product that flops or implement a new marketing campaign that backfires. To better understand the challenges of strategic decision-making, Gavetti and Levinthal introduced the concept of a fitness landscape. Imagine a vast mountainous terrain where altitude represents performance. Each location on the landscape represents a different strategic choice. The goal is to climb to the highest peak, the optimal strategy, but the terrain is complex with many hills and valleys. The fitness landscape is defined by two key parameters: N policy features, the number of distinct attributes in an overall policy choice. Think of these as the different levers a company can pull: product features, pricing strategies, marketing channels, supply chain configurations. K, interdependence, the degree of interaction between policy features. This represents how much the success of one strategic choice depends on other choices. The interplay between N and K determines the shape of the fitness landscape. Smooth landscapes, low K. In a smooth landscape, there's little interdependence between strategic choices. Small changes lead to gradual improvements, and there's usually one clear peak. It's like climbing a gentle hill. Rugged landscapes, high K. In a rugged landscape, there's high interdependence. Small changes can have dramatic effects, and there are many local peaks, making it easy to get stuck on a suboptimal strategy. It's like navigating a treacherous mountain range with hidden valleys and false summits. Gavetti and Levinthal use this figure to illustrate the different choice processes based on two key dimensions: evaluation, ranging from online, experiential, to offline, cognitive. Online evaluation means you assess the value of a choice by trying it out, while offline evaluation means you assess it before any real-world implementation. Location, ranging from local to distant. This refers to how different a potential choice is from the organization's current activities. A local choice is a small adjustment, while a distant choice represents a radical departure. Based on these dimensions, this figure positions different choice processes. Local experimentation. This involves online evaluation of local alternatives. It's about making small, incremental changes and learning from the results. Logical incrementalism. This involves offline evaluation of local alternatives. It's about carefully planning small changes before implementing them. Rational model. This involves offline evaluation of both local and distant alternatives. It's the classic model of rational decision-making where all options are carefully considered before a choice is made. Cognitive representations. This involves offline evaluation of a limited set of alternatives, both local and distant. It's about using simplified mental models to guide decision-making. Gavetti and Levinthal emphasize that both cognitive and experiential search are constrained by bounded rationality. Managers have limited information, time, and cognitive capacity. They can't possibly analyze every option or predict every outcome. This limitation forces them to rely on simplified mental models and incremental experimentation. The real power of strategic decision-making comes from combining cognitive and experiential search. It's like having both a map and a compass, along with the ability to learn from the terrain as you explore. 1. Cognitive search provides initial direction. Mental models, even if simplified, can guide the initial search, helping organizations focus their efforts and avoid obviously unproductive paths. It's like using a map to identify the general direction of your destination. 2. Experiential search refines the strategy. Once a general direction is established, organizations use experiential search to fine-tune their approach, learning from real-world feedback and adapting to changing circumstances. It's like adjusting your course based on the weather conditions and the terrain you encounter. What happens when organizations change their mental models? This is a critical question, especially in today's rapidly evolving business environment. Shifting mental models can be beneficial, especially in dynamic environments where the landscape is constantly shifting. It allows organizations to see the world in new ways, identify new opportunities, and adapt to changing competitive conditions. However, changing mental models also carries risks. Loss of accumulated knowledge. Changing mental models can invalidate years of accumulated experience and tacit knowledge. The new model might be worse. The new mental model may be less accurate than the old one, leading to poor decisions. Disruption of established routines. Changes in mental models often require changes in organizational routines, which can be disruptive and costly. The paper highlights the importance of understanding how organizations adapt to dynamic fitness landscapes, environments where the rules of the game are constantly changing. In dynamic environments, changing mental models can be a source of competitive advantage. It allows organizations to quickly adapt to new opportunities and threats. Cognitive search helps organizations quickly identify promising regions in the new fitness landscape. It's like using a new map to find the best route through unfamiliar territory. Experiential search allows organizations to fine-tune their strategies in response to real-world feedback. It's like adjusting your course based on the weather conditions and the terrain you encounter. It's important to note that random changes in mental models can lead to poor results. Adaptation must be guided by careful analysis and a deep understanding of the changing environment. Gavetti and Levinthal used computer simulations to test their ideas. Here are some key findings. Cognitive search helps organizations find a better starting point. Maintaining an initial mental model prevents organizations from wandering in unproductive directions. In competitive environments, cognitive search speeds up the discovery of superior choices. Changing mental models can be beneficial in dynamic environments, but harmful in stable ones. Let's consider some real-world examples of how organizations navigate the strategic landscape using cognitive and experiential search. Netflix started with the mental model that people wanted to rent DVDs through the mail. As technology evolved, they shifted their mental model to focus on streaming content. They used experiential search to experiment with different pricing models, content strategies, and international expansion plans. Amazon's initial mental model was that people wanted to buy books online. They have since expanded their mental model to encompass a vast range of products and services, including cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and even space exploration. They have used experiential search to experiment with different business models, such as Prime membership and third-party marketplaces. Blockbuster, on the other hand, clung to its existing mental model of physical stores and late fees. They failed to adapt to the changing environment and were ultimately disrupted by Netflix. So, what does all this mean for you, the ambitious business leader, entrepreneur, or consultant? Here are some key takeaways. Embrace both mental representation and experimentation. Don't rely solely on one approach. Develop a strategic plan based on your best understanding of the environment, but be prepared to experiment and adapt as you learn more. Develop accurate mental models. Understand the relationships between your actions and their outcomes. Actively seek out new information, challenge your assumptions, and be willing to update your mental models as the world changes. Recognize the complexity of your strategic landscape. Be aware of the interdependencies between different strategic choices. Don't assume that you can simply copy what works for another company. You need to understand the specific context in which you operate. Be cautious about changing your mental models. Consider the potential loss of valuable knowledge and experience. Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Adapt to your environment. Be prepared to adjust your strategies as the world changes. The ability to adapt is the key to long-term success. The world of business is a complex and ever-changing landscape. To navigate this landscape successfully, you need to be both a strategic thinker and an agile experimenter. By combining cognitive and experiential search, you can unlock your organization's full potential and achieve sustainable competitive advantage. Embrace the strategic odyssey and embark on a journey of continuous learning and adaptation. That's all for this deep dive into forward-looking and backward-looking and strategic decision-making. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on this journey of learning and growth. Be sure to subscribe to Vaj Academy for more insights into the world of business strategy and decision-making.